Draw a box and whisker for the given data. Okay, so for a box and whisker plot, we've got to find first the median. In order to find the median, we need to put these numbers in order. So the smallest number here is 8. So the next number up is 10. And then we've got 13. And then 18. Notice I'm crossing them out so I know that I wrote them down. Then we have 23. Then 25. 26. And then 30. So if we're going to find the median, which is our first step, we're going to find the middle number. Median means middle number. So cross out lowest, cross out highest, cross out lowest, cross out highest, cross out lowest, cross out highest, and we've got 2 in the middle. So if we had just 1 in the middle, it would be that number. But since we have 2 in the middle, we've got to find the mean of these two numbers. We've got to find which number goes between these two. So in order to do that, we can do 18 plus 23 and then divide it by 2. Find what number goes right between 18 and 23. So 18 plus 23 is 41, and 41 divided by 2 would equal 20.5. So our median is going to be 20.5. So that's what we call our second quartile, or median is 20.5. Okay, so this median right here, 20.5, breaks these numbers, breaks it into two sets, the lower half and the upper half. So now to find the first quartile, we're going to break the lower half in half. So that's going to be right, we can, once again, so we find the median of the bottom half. So let's use a different color here. So I'm going to cross out lowest, cross out highest, cross out lowest. Oh wait, we've got 2 in the middle. 10 and 13. So once again, I'm going to find the mean of these two numbers. So 10 plus 13 is 23. 23 divided by 2 would be 11.5. So 11 and a half will be our first quartile. 11.5. That's going to break it. So we're breaking this thing into 4 different chunks, into quartiles or quarters. Now for our third quartile, we're going to do the same thing. So right between 25 and 26, since we have 2 in the middle, we've got to find the mean of these two. So 25 plus 26 is 51. 51 divided by 2 is 25.5, or 25 and a half. Goes right between 25 and 26. So that's our third quartile, 25.5. Okay, now for our range is just the highest number, 30, minus the lowest number, 8. And so our range will be 22. Okay, now let's make this box and whisker. We've got all the information we need. Our lowest number is 8. So I'm going to put a little point. Let's use a different color for this. Let's go back to black. So I'm going to put a point on 8. That's my minimum. My maximum is 30. So I'm going to put another point on 30. Now, for our median, we're going to have a line. We're going to have a line over our median, which is 20 and a half. So that would go right about here. And then we put our line for our our first quartile, or our lower quartile, which is 11 and a half. That would go right about here. No, actually, that would go closer, a little bit further. So 11 would be right about there. So 11 and a half would be right about here. So that's our first quartile. And then our upper quartile, or our third quartile, is 25.5. So there would be 25 right between 24 and 26. So 25.5 would be right about there. Okay, so we've got our minimum, our first quartile, our second quartile, which is also our median, and our third quartile, and then we have our maximum number. Now, for these three in the middle, these lines, we're going to make them into a box. And then we're going to connect the minimum and the maximum to the box with a line. Now sometimes instead of a dot, you'll see a line here as well. And don't let that confuse you, it's the same thing. It can be a line or it can be a dot. So what this tells us is we've got a quarter or 25% of our data right here. That would be the 8 and the 10 fall right here. Then we've got our first quartile, it splits it into the first quarter. And we've got 25% or a quarter of our data in here. Here's our median. We have a quarter of our data here, and we've got the last quarter of our data right here.